On November 4, 2025, Louisville's Muhammad Ali International Airport bustled with activity, the UPS Worldport hub at its heart. Among the departing aircraft was UPS Flight 2976, a McDonnell Douglas MD-11 freighter, loaded for a long journey to Honolulu. The plane, registration N2159UP, carried over 220,000 pounds of jet fuel and a full cargo hold. Its three experienced crew members, Captain Richard Wartenberg, First Officer Lee Truitt, and Captain Dana Diamond, prepared for what should have been a routine flight. The MD-11, built in 1991 and converted to a freighter in 2006, had recently undergone maintenance for a cracked fuel tank, but was cleared for service. As the crew completed pre-flight checks and taxied to runway 17R, nothing suggested the disaster about to unfold. At 5:12 p.m., air traffic control cleared Flight 2976 for takeoff. The pilots advanced the throttles, and the MD-11 thundered down the runway. Everything appeared normal, as the aircraft gathered speed, and its nose lifted. But just as the wheels were about to leave the ground, catastrophe struck, unseen by the crew, but captured by airport cameras. In seconds, a routine departure turned into the deadliest incident in UPS Airlines history. Louisville was about to face a tragedy that would shake the city and the global logistics community. The disaster unfolded in moments. As Flight 2976 accelerated, its left engine, number 1, suddenly tore away from the wing. Debris scattered near the runway, signaling a catastrophic failure before the plane was airborne. The cockpit erupted in alarms as the pilots fought a violent yaw and loss of control. Severed fuel lines ignited, sending a fireball streaming from the left wing. The MD-11 struggled to climb, barely reaching 100 feet as it veered sharply left, trailing smoke and flames. The crew made desperate correct control inputs, briefly leveling the wings, but the fire rapidly destroyed the wing structure, and the plane rolled uncontrollably. It struck a UPS warehouse roof, then crashed into fuel tanks, triggering a massive explosion. The fuselage and right wing tore through a truck lot and auto yard, leaving a half-mile path of destruction. By 5:14 p.m., just 2 minutes after takeoff, Flight 2976 was gone, obliterated 3 miles from the airport. The crash was a human tragedy that devastated Louisville and the UPS family. All 3 crew members, Wartenberg, Truitt, and Diamond, were killed instantly, their loss deeply felt among colleagues and loved ones. The disaster struck during a busy time in an industrial district, killing 11 people on the ground. Among the victims was a 3-year-old girl, a heartbreaking reminder of the tragedy's reach. At least 15 others were hospitalized, some critically, their lives forever changed. The Jefferson County Coroner's Office faced the grim task of identifying victims, relying on DNA and dental records due to the intense fire. By November 12th, all 14 victims were identified, and families were notified with care and respect. The community's grief was profound, as the scale of loss became clear. Louisville would never forget the lives lost that evening. The crash triggered a massive emergency response. Firefighters and rescue teams raced to a scene engulfed in flames and toxic smoke, fueled by jet fuel and industrial chemicals. Their immediate priorities: save lives and contain the inferno. The fire's intensity forced a shift from rescue to recovery within hours. Over 100 firefighters battled the blaze for more than 30 hours, with hotspots flaring for days. Authorities issued a shelter-in-place order for a 5-mile radius, closed schools, and secured the disaster zone. The city's resources were stretched to the limit, but coordination among agencies prevented further tragedy. For days, sirens echoed across South Louisville, a city in crisis. As the flames smoldered, the NTSB launched its investigation, dispatching a 28-member team to Louisville. Their mission: determine the cause and prevent future tragedies. The crash site became a federal investigation zone, every fragment a potential clue. Both black boxes were recovered and sent to Washington, D.C. The cockpit voice recorder revealed alarms just seconds after takeoff, confirming the crew's immediate awareness of disaster. The flight data recorder showed the left engine's sudden failure and the pilot's rapid, correct response. Investigators focused on the engine pylon, searching for signs of fatigue, maintenance errors, or manufacturing flaws. The FAA quickly issued an emergency directive, grounding all U.S. MD-11s for urgent inspection. An initial NTSB report was expected within 30 days, but the full investigation would take much longer. The world waited for answers as the industry braced for change. UPS, deeply rooted in Louisville, faced an unprecedented crisis. CEO Carol Tomei and leadership expressed condolences and pledged full cooperation with investigators. On November 7, UPS grounded its entire MD-11 fleet, about 9% of its aircraft, prioritizing safety over holiday season pressures. The company established a family assistance hotline and deployed crisis teams to support victims' families. Operations at Worldport halted, and critical flights were canceled, causing widespread delays. The company worked to reroute flights and support its workforce amid the turmoil. UPS's response was a test of its crisis management and compassion. The tragedy forced the company to balance operational disruption with the need for transparency and care. The crash unleashed a major environmental crisis. Jet fuel and chemicals from destroyed facilities created toxic spills, with oil pooling feet deep in places. The Louisville Sewer District and EPA acted fast, deploying containment booms to prevent contamination of local waterways. Public health advisories warned residents to avoid affected creeks and ditches. The city's drinking water remained safe, but monitoring continued. UPS hired specialists for a long-term cleanup, removing contaminated soil and hazardous materials. The process would take years, with businesses and residents facing a lengthy recovery. Environmental damage added another layer to the community's hardship. The scars, both physical and emotional, would linger long after the flames were out. Louisville's recovery began amid grief and disruption. Businesses were destroyed, traffic snarled, and lawsuits filed against UPS, Boeing, and GE. The city opened a community resource center to help residents and business owners navigate insurance and disaster relief. Memorials and vigils honored the 14 lives lost, uniting the community in mourning. The crash sparked debate over airport zoning and the safety of aging cargo fleets. The NTSB's final report is expected to drive new safety measures and maintenance standards. The grounding of the MD-11 fleet forced the industry to rethink reliance on older aircraft. As Louisville heals, the hope is that lessons learned will lead to safer skies and stronger communities. The city mourns, but its resilience points toward a future shaped by change and remembrance.